Right, class. So this is the lesson that we previously have just finished, and so I kind of make this video so to benefit for some of you that has been probably missing from the lesson. So in order for you to catch up, I'm going to break this video into a couple of portion. So for now, we'll look at the first construction of the shape. Okay, so basically they are identical, but identical means the shapes are the same, but the floor levels are pretty much in the same way. Let me just zoom that out a bit. So gives you a quick overview. So the floors are the same, okay, and therefore, like they are all pretty much in line because of the division. Okay, so there's a lift shaft or a column here. There's a roof, basic roof, and there's obviously the flooring and of course the each level. Okay, so we should begin now. I'm gonna hide this. So first of all, I'm using Rhino 8, and I guess some of you know that the interface is slightly different for the benefit of those who have not used Rhino 8 or not. It's pretty much the same. Okay, so I am going to let you see this. Okay, so this is the construction of the two shape. So we're working with units, millimeters. Okay, you can pause the video here and construct your basic shape. So the distance between both towers, you can look at it and visually give that spacing on your own accord. Okay, so we're going to move from here now. So the basic box mode is done. So we will use the interpolate point curves. So by now, most of you should be familiar with two sets of curves that we will be using. So I'm going to use the interpolate points curve. Okay, so I'm going to use the midpoint and the midpoint. So this will determine the curvature of the structure. So I'm going to the front view. Okay, so each curves that we select, Rhino will highlight the control points. So I'll select the control points and I can just sort of move that. So just move it visually. We have no definite distance or size that you want to use. So maybe for the benefit of some of you, you could actually select the points and also scale the point this way using the gumball. So there's a couple of ways that gumball can be used. Okay, so progressively you learn a bit, try a bit, and familiar with yourself. So this curve is done. And again, I want to say that I'm not going to do this. I am going to miss this out because I'm going to use one sample and then you could replicate the other one. Okay, so back to perspective for now. So the basic curve is constructed. So we want to use surface revolve. But you know that revolve will require a center line from here all the way to this because this is going round. So this is revolve, revolve. So therefore, we need that center point. So however, currently we do not have the center point, and how do we derive a center point? So maybe you could use the curve to just draw two sets of lines. And then from the two sets of line, I am going to use the midpoint. Okay, so surface revolve. We're creating surface revolve. I'm going to select this curve, enter, revolve axis, this point, and midpoint. Okay, so you notice that Rhino asked me on start angle 0. Okay, I'm going to say enter. Excuse me, enter. And then it says 360 degree. Okay, if you are fixed in a certain distance, of course, you can type in the angle that you preferred. But for this exercise, we're going to use 360. Okay, enter. So the first funnel shape is done. Remember, I will not do this. It's pretty much the same. You could follow the same videos and do it for this. All right, so this is done. Well, the funnel shape is done. Okay, and now I'm going to quickly, at the same time, I'm going to select all this. Okay, and I'm going to group them first and hide. So this is a lot clearer for us. All right, I'm going to pull in the text that we have been using. So we finish the first surface revolve, done. We'll do the floor. So I'm going to the front view. Also, you could switch to ghosts. Probably you won't see anything for now because there is no element inside the surface. Okay, so first of all, we're going to divide this section. Okay, each floor that we're going to divide, it's about 2,500. Okay, so 2,500 mm. So how do we derive this overall shape? So we can say, well, there's a couple of ways we can do this. Okay, we can immediately go to curve from object. Excuse me, I'm going to draw a single line. This is just additional knowledge for you. So this single line, drawing from here, I think we talked about divide for a while, and I'm going to use divide command. Oops. Okay, divide. Divide, I'm going to say, so currently the segment is 10, but however, I am going to say segment is, no, the length. I'm going to use length. So you need to pre-select length instead of segment. So length, 2005. Okay, so at this junction, I'm going to pause here. So class, sometimes you will see that the arrow of each curve would be displayed like this. I'm going to zoom in maybe a lot. At the same time, I'm going to explain this. So each curves that you draw, including surfaces that you construct, there's always this element of which is the positive side of the thing or the negative side. So anything that is going down this way, it shows that the start point is currently here. So what if the length is longer? So the trouble will start. The trouble will start. I'm going to quickly draw something here. The trouble will start if I divide this and I say the length is 2,000. Oops, let me do that again. Undo. Divide length is 2,000. You see that it starts from here, and then there's a remaining part. So be very aware that in the event that you want to switch side, the only way to flip this will be using direction. Okay, so what do I mean? So I'm going to move this, copy this as a duplicate. Okay, so if I pick on this and type in direction, DIR, so Rhino explained that this is the way that they would do it. So if you don't like it, you would think that is the other way around, you flip it. Where do I flip? So class, always go back to the command prompt. They would have a clue here of what to basically execute for. So flip. Okay, so if I were to do a divide now, same length is 2,000. So now this is the remaining, and this was the remaining. So direction is sometimes if you are wondering why this is not going as, you could check your direction. Okay. So direction checking is DIR, text is DIR. Okay. I'll just put it here. direction checking. It's also, well, it's also known as DIR, as the X. Okay, so I am assuming I'm checking this. I need to flip this. Okay, and now I could do my divide. My length is 2005. So it shows that it's possible because we have controlled the height of the funnel anyway. All right, so this allows you to check roughly what is going on the remaining of the model. So next we can do its curve. Because we're going to do sections, so we go to curve. The outcome is curve. So go to curve, contour. Okay. We did this contour before on probably lesson 2 or lesson 3, I think lesson 2. So contour, select this, enter, start point, it's at the bottom. Remember that your mouse will determine the direction that the contour goes. So I'm going to go straight up and the distance is 2005. Okay. So this is what Rhino did. It kind of subdivide the whole thing. I'm going to go perspective and you should be able to see. All right, so this is done. Okay, front view again. All right, so next thing that we want to do is we want to basically create some floor slab. Okay, a really quick floor slab. So we're going to use solid, extrude planar curve straight. Okay, it is not surface. These are still curves. So straight. So you notice that they are asking which side do you want to go. So for now, we're going to go both sides. And then the distance is 100. So that means if you say 100, that means this is 100 and this is 100. So that makes 200. Okay, so both sides, enter. So you have a very basic slab. Okay, a very basic slab. If you go perspective, you should be able to see this in ghost mode. Done. Okay, so that's finished. Next, go shaded. Okay, so we're gonna go right view. Oh no, front view. Okay, so we're done with the floor. Surface done. Direction done, more or less. We talk about floor. We extrude both sides. Okay, so the floor is done. Next, we're gonna bring back show. Excuse me, let me do that again. This one. No, this one. I'm gonna bring back this. Okay. I seldom talk about the height and show command. Maybe I will just probably do that again. Okay, for this instance, there is a nice command. Sometimes during class, we're moving quite fast and I may miss out some commands that is useful as well. So if you notice that there is a center mouse icon, beg your pardon, icon that reflects a light bulb. So what it does is you are transported to a hidden space. You're transported to a hidden space to select items that you want to turn it on. Okay, so this is a very useful tool. So transport to hidden space and assuming I like this arrow, I say this is the hidden space now. And I say I like this arrow and I like this. Enter. So Rhino will turn this on and bring you back to your actual working space. So it's a very useful tool. Instead of you typing show and that's it, and you are stuck with all the items displaying it all back to you again. So for this instance, we will not use that. Okay. So next, I'm gonna pick on this because I was grouping it earlier. I want to demonstrate this to you. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. I don't want to mess this up a bit because we have the floor slab. Okay, we'll leave the floor slab there. Okay, so I'm going to the front view. During the class, we talk about two things. We talk about project and also pullback command. So I will demonstrate this currently. So what is project? What is pullback? They are different. The command is all found here. Excuse me. It's here. It's project and pullback under curves. Okay. So pullback and project would be completely different. I'm going to copy this so that we can see the difference. Okay. So now we're going to use project. Okay. This is project and this will be pullback. So the difference is for curve project and curve pullback, the function is very different. So I'm going to the front view and let's demonstrate this. So curve from this object project. Okay, so basically Rhino asks, where is your shape? I say, this is my shape. And then they ask, where is your surface? I say, this is my surface, enter. Okay, done. So what about pullback? Curve from this object, pullback. This is my curve. This is my surface to pullback. Okay, so let's see. So the difference is this. I'm going to select this and you should be able to see this now. Okay, so pullback and projects are completely two different functions. Project is 1D. Pullback is almost 2.5D or 3D. Okay, so the nice thing is if we want to wrap certain design around pullback, we can. Pullback will do a lot of things. Example, I'm going to draw another one. I'm going to do a text. Okay, we're going to do a text. So I'm going to write text. Excuse me, I'm going to do a 2D text. Okay, the text here that you just saw me clicking it is this one class, is the T. Okay, this is text that is having outline 3D and 2D surface. This is like 3D sort of text. The normal text that we use it for annotation, those are annotation text. So the difference is basically one is 3D, one is basically just text. I hope I explained that better. So I'm going to use text, and this is the difference that you see. There's a curved text and there's a surface and solid text. Okay, so I'm going to use the text curves, and that's too small. I'm going to say 400. No, that's too small too. Say 2000. Okay. I'm going to say 5,000. Okay, here. All right, so I'm going to draw. So in the future, if you want to wrap something around here, let's say on the base here, first of all, you need to find out the length of this. It's quite a few steps, really quick steps. So find out the length of this curve. Of course, Rhino needs the true length. How do you find out true length? Length, analyze, and then length, and select this. So you could see this class. This is the true length of the item. Okay, so I'm going to select this, copy. Okay, I'm going to draw a straight line. So that's the true length. So this length is equivalent to this length. So this length is this length now. Okay, so the main reason why I do so is to demonstrate that Rhino needs the true length to map the true size too. If your length is too short, then the effects will be different. I probably will show it too. Okay, so I'm going to say Rhino. I'm going to select here, endpoint, and on my gumball, just move it to the center. Okay, because the length is the same, because this and this length is the same, so Rhino text will not deform as much. Okay, so I'm going to say transform, flow along curve, select base curve, and select reference curve. Yeah. Oops. Runs this way. Okay, I'm going to go top view. And I'm going to say rotate. Maybe I rotate this. Center. Okay. Just going to pick it here, rotate. Okay. So now the text is formed. And so now I'm going to use pullback. So project are not able to do this at all. Project is, again, I repeat, it's 2D. It's straight up. Okay. And do any projection or pullback in a front view if you can. Okay. So, but pullback probably are more a lot easier to do it in a perspective view. So I'm going to say curve from this object, and I'm going to say pullback. So I'm going to select this. Okay, enter, and they ask me surface. I say this. Okay, I'm going to group them first and select this, delete. So now you notice that the Rhino text is being pasted on this surface. So if you could have any irregular surface, the text or any shape, if you design some shape, it will be wrapped on. So this is possible by using, so I could now do a trim. Let's say I do a trim, I could trim all this now, assuming I want to design off text like that. So I can trim. Okay, so pullback is giving a lot more flexibility, but project, of course, it has its own pros and cons. All right, so I'm going to use this curve. The rest I will delete first. Okay, I'm going to use this curve since I have finished it, and I'm going to, oops, I'm going to go top view first. And what I need to do is I'm going to select this. Okay, I'm going to group them. Oops, ungroup. Yeah, group missed out one. Oops, this and this. Ungroup. And then group. Okay, so I'm going to hide them for now. So for this instance, I will hide all this so it doesn't confuse you a bit. Okay. All right. So I'm going to borrow this, transform, copy center point. If you don't know where, we could use the center. Remember the circumference, move the circumference, and then you get a center. And then center again. Yeah. All right. So with that in mind, I'll hide this too. We don't need, no, we don't need, we finish. Okay. So with that in mind, where are we now? Okay, we talk about pullback, and then we're going to do array now. Oops. We're going to do array, transform array polar. So select this curve, top view. So transform array. So array is either rectangle, polar for Rhino is circular method, linear is straight, okay, polar. Then Rhino asks, where is your center point? I said, where's my center? I'm going to use OSnap and say, I move my mouse close to the circumference. Okay, this is my center, and I say 20 items, enter, 360, enter, enter. Okay, so I have selected everything, and so if I go to the front view, you notice, okay, you notice from the shading part, it's only one direction. So what we can do is top view, I'm going to use select last. Bear in mind, there's one more here, don't miss out on this guy. All right, select last, and then just do a mirror. Mirror, I'm going to use an intersection to intersection. Done. All right, front view again, perspective view, it will cross. Okay, good. So therefore, the basic structure is set up. The floor is set up. So how do we move from here? So I'm going to hide the funnel so you can see this. I will also hide this and hide this. Excuse me, hide this. Okay. So the cross of all these curves, I don't know, you could group them and then select them first and then type pipe. Okay, my information here is about 100 diameter. You can do the same thing, diameter 100. Okay, so, and then of course, remember at each time when you execute a command, the items are always loose. So you could say select last again and then group them. Otherwise, you have to painstakingly pick all of them. Okay, so either which group. So we're done with the grouping. So back to this command show selected objects again. We want this, see? Okay, and then of course we want the surface. Depends which surface we want. Okay, surface. Okay. So at this junction, it looks decently done. We'll see it goes. Okay. And we only left out the diameter of the shaft in the middle of the column or the lift. Okay. So we're going to the top view. And we're going to say circle. I'm going to draw a circle. Circle command center. And for the big one, it's about 3,000 diameter. For the small one, this one, oops, the small one, it's 2,000. Okay. So let's see where this is currently. Perspective. Okay, it's at the top. Right. So let's go to the front view. We could say solid, extrude planar, straight down. Remember, this is because of both sides. So turn off your both sides at the command. Yeah. Just select it and then it will be disengaged. Okay. So I'll say to the endpoint. So let's go perspective. Now we can see this support structure. Okay. So remember to put all of them into different layers. Or the structure into different layers, floors into floor layers. If you want to say lift shaft into lift shaft layers, you're most welcome. Okay, so at this junction, I probably is going to pause. Okay, we have covered most of the item discussed here. All right. So I'll prepare the next video for the landscape.